100 players who shook the clock.
Jack Balmer, the mustachioed marauder. He had this little will-o'-the-wisp moustache, very recognisable, tremendous player.
You know, looked like probably more like a sort of Open University professor, really, in some ways, rather than a footballer. And but he was a very good, honest, hard-working servant of this club, whose best years were probably lost in the fascinating, but nonetheless not fully recognised war years. His career, in some ways, should have been more than it was, but the Second World War, yet again, it's so many of our players of that era had the war sort of get in the way of what could have been something very spectacular. He actually only ever won the one medal, the 46-47 championship, alongside the likes of Billy Liddell and Albert Stubbins. But Balmer was a real serious player.
In the 1946-47 team, a key member of it, great goal scorer, had the notable feat of scoring hat-tricks in three successive matches, including a 4 in one of them.
Though the 46-47 was an amazing season, and of course I'm sure he was thrilled to be part of it, you can't help but just think that perhaps he and Liddell and Stubbins, you know, they deserved more than they actually got.
In the 47 team, he played with Albert Stubbins. It was Balmer and Stubbins. I suppose you could say they were the first post-war great partners. You had Balmer and Stubbins.
Birmingham's Wembley hopes rose, but within 2 minutes Liverpool scored again through Balmer.
That 47 team relied heavily on Balmer and Stubbins to score the goals, and although I never saw Balmer play, you know, people who saw him play and the reports of the time, he was a very skillful player and quite a clinical finisher.
He's a sort of bit of an unsung hero, Jackie Balmer, but if you actually go back to the records at the time and you read the match reports, you realise he was solid as a rock, he was dependable. He didn't abandon the club, even though, you know, things got steadily worse as the 50s wore on. The thing that's also funny about Balmer, I mean, he carried on playing till I think he was about 40 years old for the club, and he's probably one of the most unlikely looking footballers in the history of Liverpool.
Clearly, with his looks, he was you couldn't mistake Jack Balmer. Obviously, one of the great strikers of Liverpool history.